Okay. Good morning, everyone. In the last lab, we discussed about the city magnetizing characteristic and basics of the city. So, the function of the city is to step down the current to a safe level, which can be handled by either meters or relays, and it electrically isolates a high voltage, high current power system with low voltage, low current metering or protective circuit. CT connection, we have seen that the primary is connected in series with the line or equipment which we want to protect or we want to measure current to it, and secondary is connected with either meter or relay. CT is called as the instrument transformer. There are two types of instrument transformer. Those are called as the CT and PT. Uh, this is the diagram where the CT primary, which is of a few ton, maybe single ton or 2 ton primary, bar conductors are generally used. Secondary coil having number of turns depending upon the CT ratio. So this is how the CT is wound over the core. Windings are wound over the core. Standard CT ratings, we discussed that generally secondary ratings are either 1 ampere or 5 ampere, and primary rating of the CT is decided based on the application where it has to be used. Then CT ratings, why standardized? We have seen that because generally meters and relays are connected on the secondary side. So if we standardize the secondary rating, the meter design or relay design can also be standard according. Then we discuss about the magnetizing characteristic where H, which is BH curve, B is the flux density, and H is the field intensity, magnetic field intensity. So it represents the BH curve represents the magnetization of the core, how the flux will set up in the core, and what will be the current required to establish the magnetic flux in the core. So remember that BH curve is the curve representing the core. Yes, Fayaz. Any query, Fayaz? Okay, no problem. So how do we obtain the magnetizing characteristic? We'll discuss today, and we will see the experiment also, laboratory experiment. This is the magnetizing characteristic you can see here is characteristic between the flux density versus the field intensity, and actually it is in the other words you can say it is the flux versus the magnetizing current. So generally the curve, magnetizing curve of any magnetic material, ferromagnetic material, can be of this shape, where there are 2 points you can see on the characteristic. One is called as the ankle point, from where the linear characteristic starts, and the other point is the knee point, from where the saturation region starts. So generally the cities are designed to operate between the range of A to B, that is a linear region. Okay. B point is known as the knee point voltage, or simply you can say knee point on the characteristic. So it is the point on the saturation curve where if see up to point A to B, the change in the flux with the magnetizing current is linear. Okay. So here in this case, the flux will linearly follow the current, or you can say the magnetizing current requirement is linearly followed with the change in the flux. But after point B, you can see any how we can define the knee point is that any change after the point B, any change that is a by 10% in the flux B, flux density B, will require 50% change in the magnetizing current, excitation current, we can say. So that point is known as the knee point, and if we keep on operating CT beyond this point, then the magnetizing current requirement would be quite large, and that we can call as the CTS saturated if it is operated. Now, what will happen when CT will saturate? We will see today, as well as we will obtain the CT magnetizing characteristic. Here we have also discussed previously that why the flux is set up in the core based on the alignments of the domains. Okay. Phasor diagram we will discuss in detail again today. Then we compared that what is the difference between measuring CT and protective CT. Can we replace measuring CT with protective CT or vice versa? So the answer is no. We cannot replace either of the CTs in the application. For the same rating, let's say 100 bar 1 measuring CT and 100 bar 1 protective CT, we cannot interchange their operation. We cannot connect a meter across in series with let's say protective CT, and we cannot connect a relay in secondary of a measuring CT. The reason we have discussed that measuring CT, the purpose is measurement, and actually you require accurate information from no load to full load. So accuracy of measuring CT must be very good in the range of no load to full load. And in the event of default, when fault current is number of times the rated current, measuring CT should not transform correct faithfully. Otherwise, the meter connected in the secondary of measuring CT may get damaged. So in order to prevent meter from damaging due to high current, measuring CT should not transform the uh, high current that is flowing from the primary. On the other side, protective CT must faithfully transform the fault current to any possible value. Generally, the range is consider up to 20 times the fault current. Okay, that it must faithfully transform the fault current flowing through the primary, so that relay will get the necessary correct information. And if protective CT does not faithfully transform the primary current, which is a fault current, relay may not get accurate information, and then the decision taken by the relay may not be the correct. Okay, so this is the difference. So how should protective CT and measuring CT be operated? So if we see here that if this is the full load current, so with increase in the primary current, let's say from no load to full load, measuring CT and protective CT both faithfully transform the current into secondary. You can see for this much primary current, you can see this is secondary current. So for this much primary current, this is secondary current. You can see here likewise. But for measuring CT, if the current is more than full load current, it should not faithfully transform to secondary current, and the current transfer to secondary must be decreased. It should not increase linearly in order to protect measuring device. Whereas for protective CT, you can see for any value of the primary current, that current must be reflected on the secondary side. Okay, suppose if we take this point, let's say fault current is 5 times the rated current. You can see this is the current which is transferred by protective CT, whereas this is the current which is transferred by measuring CT. Okay, this is the secondary current in measuring CT, this is secondary current in protective CT. You can see this is the difference. So generally, protective CTs are designed to operate near the ankle point, wherein for any increase in the primary current, even though the flux increases, which requires the increase in the magnetizing current, it will still reach up to point B. So it will not go into saturation region, and operating range of the protective CT is from A to B. So it will faithfully transform the current. Whereas measuring city can be designed to operate near this key point. So in this case, for the same material I'm saying, in this case, the measuring city, if the fault current is there higher, the operating point for measuring city will shift into this saturation region, and hence measuring city will not faithfully transform the secondary current. The reason for this we will discuss in this session. Now let us see what will happen when city gets saturated. So let us discuss the city saturation phenomenon. Okay. Uh, so for this, let us consider one city of any ratio. See, kindly all the students take a note of this, that if you join late, will not give attendance. I will allow you to join the session, but attendance will not be given. I have already taken the attendance. So all those who are late, please do not request for attendance after the lab. Okay. Everyone who have joined late, please do not request for your attendance in the lab session. If you join within the 3 to 4 minutes of the session, considering your network issues uh, and everything, no, you have to take care of which lab you have to join. Okay, if you join after, let's say it is already right now 18 minutes. Okay, Vatsal, kai link noti abhi bhai. Link is already shared in the group before 5 minutes of the lab session. Okay, there are no excuses. I will not entertain any query if you do not join on time. Okay, I will take the attendance at the start of the lab if you are there, you are present. Otherwise, you can join lab at any time, but please do not request for the attendance. Okay, no issue. Okay, now, so let us discuss the city saturation phenomena. If we consider any city, let's say this is a core of any city. Wait, just a moment. Wait for a minute. I'll connect the pad, writing pad again. Okay. Wait for a moment. Okay. So you can see, if we consider one core, is screen visible now? Yes. Okay. So bar primary, very few turns. Let's say we have considered only 2 turns. And secondary will have number of turns depending upon the ratio. Okay. So these are the primary terminals, secondary terminals. This primary is connected in series with, let's say, if we want to protect a transmission line. So primary is connected in series with the line, secondary is connected in series with the relay. So here will be the relay coil. Okay. So what will happen? Suppose say when it is connected in series with the line and line is carrying some current. So that current will also flow through the primary. Let us call it as a primary current IP. And when this current is passed through the primary, we know that it will produce the magnetic flux in the core. Okay? It will produce a magnetic flux in the core. Let us call it as a phi p, primary flux. Okay. Now this flux linked with the secondary, and as there is a relay coil is connected through the secondary on the secondary side of the CT secondary. So whatever EMF is induced here on the secondary side, it will also pass some current through the secondary, but we know that this current would be in opposite direction to the primary, so it will produce a flux in the core which is opposing its course, which is primary flux, which is phi. So in CT, generally the net flux in the core is I'm talking about protective CT. Okay, make sure that we are discussing about the uh, which is very small. Okay, clear this point that secondary flux and primary flux are opposite. This is obviously in all the transformers you will find this that net flux in the core is the difference between primary and secondary flux, which is generally very small in nature because of the difference between the two. Now, what will happen when let's say primary current increases? Okay, for example, if I take here, this is circuit breaker, let's say, and this is feeder, and this is CT, which we are considering right now connected with the secondary of relay. Fine. As load on the line increases, what will happen? The primary current also increases. As the primary current increases, the secondary induced EMF will also increase. Okay, and that is why it will require this will necessitate the more magnetizing current on the primary side. So what will happen? Suppose here, if you see the saturation characteristic, initially the operating flux density of the machine was like this. Okay, and this was the magnetizing current required. But as the primary current increases, that will increase the primary flux, so the secondary EMF is induced, and we know that to induce this secondary EMF, additional flux is required. So the flux density of the core will change, and that is why the CT will draw more magnetizing current. As the primary flux in primary current increases, the demand of the magnetizing current will increase proportionately in the linear region. I am saying because secondary voltage will also increase proportionately. Okay, CT steps down the current, so it will step up the voltage. In the other words, we can say. So here the voltage induced on the secondary side will necessitate the more magnetizing current on the primary side. Fine. Understand? Now, if I draw the equivalent circuit, so generally the equivalent circuit of the CT can be very similar to of transformer, like primary side impedance, primary resistance and inductance. There is a magnetizing component and working component, which we call as the no load component. Yeah. This is primary winding. This is core of CT over which the winding is wound, maybe of different material. This is secondary turns, large number of secondary turns depending upon the CT ratio it may have. Secondary winding resistance and inductance and impedance of the relay coil. Sorry, secondary side resistance and secondary side inductance. Okay, so if we see the currents, so this will be the primary current total, which is consist of, this is I0, you can say excitation current or no load current, we can say IE. This is LP, RP, you can say, or sorry, LM and RW, we can say RM. Magnetizing inductance and the resistance representing the no load component or excitation component. Let me write IE, you may find it IE in some of the books. This current is NIS, secondary current, which is reflected if we reflect on the primary side. This is primary induced EMF, EP. Let me call this as a V1 supply voltage. So through the core, due to mutual induction, secondary EMF induced, and this will be the current IS, we can see, and here this will be VT. Okay, voltage across the coil, secondary coil. So this is equivalent circuit of a CT. Now, if we draw this circuit referred to secondary, equivalent circuit referred to secondary. So if CT ratio is 1 by n, for example, then what we can do? We can reflect this primary current and magnetizing current on the secondary side. Why we want to consider on the secondary side? This is to understand the CT saturation phenomena. Okay, what will happen when CT will saturate? That we want to understand, and that is why we are referring it to secondary side. Entire circuit. If you have any doubt in between, you can ask. Okay. So if we draw this circuit on the secondary side, circuit can be represented as this current here Anybody knows how to transfer on the secondary side? Primary quantities, how to transfer it on the secondary side? ZR, relay coil impedance. Okay, this will remain as it is, LS, RS, which is I2. Here it will be sorry, IS. We are using IS. Okay, secondary current terminal voltage. IS. This is IP by N, because suppose here we have IS and we have ratio of 1s to n, then we write it here it is a NIS. So it is IP by N. This is RP dash, we can say. We divide it by turns square of the ratio. LP dash, primary and resistance and inductance refer to secondary. LM dash or M dash, we can say. Similarly, this is the excitation current on refer to secondary. We can say I0 dash, and this is secondary current. Okay, which is I0 dash is uh, I0 by N. Simply, you can say I0 by N. Fine. So, any doubt in this diagram? Okay. Then, what is secondary current? We can write IP by N equal to I0 dash plus IS. Can we say this equation? And therefore, what is secondary current? Is IS equal to IP by N minus I0 dash. This is secondary current. Primary current referred to secondary side, and this is excitation current. Okay, you can say no load current which we call. So now understand this diagram. Whatever current it will draw from primary, or whatever primary current here we will have, some of the part of the primary current is used to excite the core. Okay, and the remaining current will be transferred to secondary side. Now you can see from this equation, whatever is the total primary current, some of the current is used to excite the core, and the remaining current here will be transferred to secondary side. Okay, understand? Now what will happen when saturation takes place? So consider this point. Consider this point. Suppose now, right now, this is a 100 bar 1 CT. For example, I am taking an example. Suppose right now feeder current is 20 ampere. Fine. So what will be the secondary current? If it is 100 bar 1, it means 100 at 100 it will produce 1 ampere. So at 20 it will have a secondary current of 0.2 ampere. Right now we are not considering the errors. Okay, with errors this current can be even different than 0.2. Okay, there are two types of error, ratio error and phase angle error. So we are not considering right now errors. So the current can be with 20 ampere current can be 0.2. So what will happen? Right now from primary 20 ampere is current passing to primary, because it is connected in series with the line, and secondary current exactly should be 0.2, but some of the current will be utilized to magnetize the core. So the secondary current may not be exactly 0.2, but maybe around, let's say, 0.19 or 0.18 or something like this. Okay, depending upon the magnetizing current requirement. Now this current increases to, let's say, 40 ampere. Now as the current through the primary winding is increased, the flux, primary flux increases, That will also increase the secondary induced EMF, because as the flux increases, the secondary EMF will increase for the same number of turns. And to induce this secondary additional EMF, here the magnetizing current required for the magnetization of the core will also increase. So the magnetizing current will, this component of the current will increase with the primary current. Okay, but this increase will be linearly proportional if CT is operating in this linear range. Okay, and we are considering that the CT is operating in the linear range right now between A to B. So there is no problem. As the primary current increases, the secondary current will increase linearly proportionally, and magnetizing current will also increase here in this case, you can see. But for example, now there is a fault, and say fault current is for example 5 times. It's a 500. So right now CT is operating here. Okay, CT is operating here, and fault is 5 times the rated current, so 500 ampere. Large current flows through the primary, so primary flux increases with high fault current. Secondary induced EMF also increases, and a large increase in the flux is required. So it will draw more current, and the operating point may shift from here to here. But still it is in the linear region or not? What do you think? Is this point in the linear region or not? The point which is shifted right now is in the linear region or not? On the magnetizing curve. Previously, without fault current, the operating flux density was here. Understand the point. The operating flux density was here, so the flux setup in the core was like this. But as the primary current increases, proportionately the primary flux increases and secondary induced EMF also increases, and that requires more magnetizing current. So flux density, because see, the cross-sectional area is fixed, so what will happen? Flux will increase. So flux density will reach at this point, and it will draw more magnetizing current. So is it in a linear region? Is it above knee point or is it below knee point still? Is it above knee point or below knee point on the saturation curve? What do you think? Yes, Harsh, what do you think? This operating point is below knee point or above knee point? Harsh, roll number 6.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? Yes, Harsh, I need answer from you. What do you
Below
think?
knee point.
Huh?
Below.
Yes, it
Below
is
knee
below.
point.
Yes, correct. It is below knee point. Your answer is correct, because see, this is saturation curve. Okay, this is how the magnetization takes place in the core. So if we operate CT beyond point B, it is in the saturation point. So still here CT is operating below knee point. This is knee point. Still CT is operating below knee point, and it is a linear region. So magnetizing current will also increase linearly. There is not an issue up to this point. We cannot say CT is saturated. For example, there is a fault and fault current is like 1000 ampere. Another type of fault. And as the primary current is increased by 10 times, the primary flux will also increase proportionately 10 times. And secondary induced EMF will also increase, and which will require more current, magnetizing current. And let's say operating point shifts here. Now we are in which region? Bhavesh, depending upon the fault type, okay, I'm taking different faults for the consideration. It is not the same fault I'm talking. Suppose there is a fault which has a magnitude of 500 ampere, and suppose there is another fault in the system, it may have a magnitude of 1000 ampere. They are not the same fault. I'm not talking about same fault. I'm taking different fault scenarios. ये दोनों अलग अलग टाइप के फॉल्ट है और it may happen in the system. You have studied the fault current calculations in symmetrical and unsymmetrical fault analysis. So you know that if there is a line to ground or double line to ground fault, the fault current may be different. So we are considering that we have a different types of fault here. Okay. This is another type of fault where the fault current is, let's say, 1000 ampere. Understand? Now what will happen here if the operating point shifts here? Will the magnetizing current follow linear proportion with the change in flux? क्या होगा, मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट की डिमांड फ्लक्स के साथ लीनियरली चेंज होगी या नॉन लीनियरली? अभी व्हाट डू यू थिंक? सैचुरेशन रीजन में यहां तक तो कैसे फॉलो हो रहा था? जितना फ्लक्स बढ़ेगा मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट लीनियरली बढ़ेगा, लेकिन इस पॉइंट के बाद क्या होगा? यस, द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट इज मोर. तो क्या होगा यहाँ पे, मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट जो है वो it will increase with rapid change. So understand, from primary current, magnetizing current will increase at a higher rate. What will happen to secondary current then? If from the primary flux the demand of magnetizing current is large, secondary current क्या होगा? What will happen to secondary current? Will it be increase in the same proportion or secondary current decrease होगा proportionately? क्वेश्चन समझ में आ रहा है? अगर प्राइमरी करंट ज्यादा बढ़ा, then magnetizing current requirement will also increase large if it is in the saturation region. अगर सिटी यहाँ पे पहुंच गया ऑपरेशन में, अगर ऑपरेटिंग फ्लक्स डेंसिटी सैचुरेशन रीजन में है, तो उसकी मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट डिमांड बढ़ गई, तो जो टोटल करंट है उसमें से मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट बढ़ेगा, तो सेकेंडरी करंट पे क्या असर होगा उसका? क्वेश्चन समझ में आ रहा है? क्वेश्चन समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Yes or no? Yes, Bhavesh, do you understand the question? Akshar? Okay. No, when it is in the non-linear region, now ratio will not matter because it will not follow linear proportion. For example, let me give you example. Okay, देखो क्या होगा, 100 बार 1 का सिटी है. So let us see that ये सिटी जब we are taking very simple. Okay, 5 times से ज्यादा करंट अगर बढ़ेगा तो ये सिटी क्या होगा, सेचुरेशन रीजन में जाएगा, ऐसा हम लेते हैं. जनरली इट इज नॉट ट्रू फॉर प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी, बट समझने के लिए यहाँ पे हम लेते हैं. ठीक है, जनरली प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी आर नॉट designed to saturate up to 20 times the fault current under normal, even more than that, even sometimes 30-40 times even. पर ये हम समझने के लिए एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं. ओके, कि अगर करंट 500 से ज्यादा होगा तो सिटी सेचुरेशन में जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे जैसे नॉर्मल 50 एम्पियर वो ड्रॉ कर रहा है, तो उसका एक्साइटेशन करंट है, इसको मैं रेशियो से डिवाइड करता हूँ. ओके, प्राइमरी करंट है 50 एम्पियर और रेशियो है हमारा 100/1। तो सेकेंडरी का अगर उसको मैं सेकेंडरी साइड लेके जाता हूँ तो क्या होगा, 0.5 रिफर टू सेकेंडरी। तो ये करंट हो गया मेरा 0.5 और 50 एम्पियर के हिसाब से सेकेंडरी में कितना करंट होना चाहिए, 100/1 के रेशियो के हिसाब से 0.5 होना चाहिए। लेकिन देयर इज ए मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट, लेट्स से दिस मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट इज 0.02 एम्पियर एट 50 एम्पियर। तो वो सेकेंडरी में कितना करंट देगा, 0.48। रेशियो है 100/1। तो अगर 50 एम्पियर फ्लो हो रहा है तो सेकेंडरी में कितना आना चाहिए, 0.5 एम्पियर आना चाहिए। लेकिन 0.5 एम्पियर नहीं आएगा, 0.48 एम्पियर आएगा, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस इज मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट 0.02 एम्पियर। देयर इज अ स्मॉल मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट रिक्वायर्ड। समझ में आया ये? इट इज कॉल्ड एज द रेशियो एरर, दैट यू विल लर्न इन डिटेल। क्लियर? ठीक है। नाउ जब ये करंट 50 to 100 हो गया, लेट्स से 50 to 100 हो गया, लोड बढ़ गया, रेटेड लोड पे चलने लगा, तो सेकेंडरी में कितना करंट आना चाहिए, रेशियो के हिसाब से 1 आना चाहिए। और इसको मैं अगर सेकेंडरी साइड रिफर करूँ तो ये हो गया 1, 100/100। और उस टाइम पे लेट से ये करंट हो गया 0.04 एम्पियर, लीनियरली बढ़ा। तो यहाँ पे कितना करंट आएगा, 0.96 एम्पियर आएगा। स्टिल इट इज मेंटेनिंग द रेशियो। ठीक है। इन केस ऑफ द फॉल्ट करंट इज नाउ 500 एम्पियर। तो यहाँ पे 500/100 उसको मैं रिफर करूँ टू द सेकेंडरी, इट इज 5 एम्पियर। और ये करंट हो गया कितना, इसको भी मैं लीनियरली बढ़ा रहा हूँ, तो मल्टीप्लाई बाई लेट्स से 5, तो 0.2 एम्पियर हो गया मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट। और यहाँ पे कितना आएगा, 4.8। समझ में आया? एक्चुअली इसको मैंने डिवाइड बाय n किया है, ओके 100। इट इज वाई इट इज रिफर टू सेकेंडरी। तो जब प्राइमरी करंट 50 एम्पियर था, सेकेंडरी करंट 0.48 था। प्राइमरी करंट जब 100 हुआ तो ये 0.96 हुआ। क्यों डिफरेंस आया, डिफरेंस आया मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट की वजह से। जब ये 500 एम्पियर हुआ यहाँ पे, तो कितना करंट सेकेंडरी में आया, 4.8। एक्चुअली आना चाहिए था 5 एम्पियर, लेकिन आया कितना, 4.8, बिकॉज ये करंट मैग्नेटाइजिंग के लिए यूटिलाइज हो गया। तो ये जो था, दिस इज अ लीनियर चेंज, यू कैन सी वेयर द सिटी वाज ऑपरेटिंग इन द लीनियर रेंज। यहाँ पे ऑपरेट हो रहा था इसके अंदर। नाउ फॉल्ट करंट इज हायर, लेट्स से 10,000 एम्पियर। 1000 एम्पियर जब फॉल्ट करंट होता है, तो जो फ्लक्स डेंसिटी है दैट इज नाउ इन दी नॉन लीनियर रीजन, so now it will not increase proportionately. So for example, जब यहाँ पे 1000 एम्पियर है, then primary current referred to secondary is 10 and this current is let's say 0.8 ampere. It is a non-linear change. So what is current here is 9.2. तो जब यहाँ पे 1000 एम्पियर एक्चुअली होता है, तब यहाँ पे कितना होना चाहिए, सेकेंडरी साइड 10 एम्पियर होना चाहिए रेशियो के हिसाब से, 100/1 के हिसाब से। लेकिन हुआ कितना, 9.2 एम्पियर। क्यों चेंज नहीं आया प्रोपोर्शनेटली, बिकॉज नाउ सिटी इज इन दी नॉन लीनियर रीजन एंड मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट रिक्वायरमेंट इज लार्ज। समझ में आया अभी? नाउ सपोज फोल्ड करंट इज इवन हायर। हम लेते हैं कि फोल्ड करंट का मैग्नीट्यूड और भी ज्यादा है, लेट्स से 5000 एम्पियर। ओके, देन here it has to be bar 100, if we it has to be 50 ampere referred to secondary. This magnetizing current, because it is in the deep saturation, यहाँ पे है, सपोज ये डीप सेचुरेशन में है, यहाँ पे पहुंच गया ऑपरेटिंग फ्लक्स डेंसिटी, मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट रिक्वायरमेंट इज टू लार्ज। सपोज मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट is now, for example, if I am saying is let's say 10 ampere, क्योंकि ये सेचुरेशन में है, इतना फ्लक्स हमें बढ़ाने के लिए मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट इज क्वाइट लार्ज, देन सेकेंडरी करंट is 40 ampere. Now अगर समझो तो यहाँ पे अगर 5000 है तो सेकेंडरी क्या होना चाहिए, 50 होना चाहिए, लेकिन प्राइमरी करंट बढ़ रहा है तो सेकेंडरी करंट प्रोपोर्शनल रेट से नहीं बढ़ रहा है, क्योंकि मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट रिक्वायरमेंट इज टू लार्ज। नाउ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस इक्वेशन कि अगर हम लीनियर रीजन में जाएंगे तो क्या होगा, मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट काफी बढ़ेगा और सेकेंडरी करंट वुड नॉट बी सेम एज द रेशियो। अंडरस्टैंड? Now there will be a time what we call as the deep saturation. There will be a time whatever primary current it will draw from supply, all current will be utilized to magnetize the core and there will be no current transferred to secondary. Secondary current हो जाएगा zero. इसको हम बोलेंगे deep saturation. यानी हम मैग्नेटाइजिंग में वो पॉइंट पे है अभी सेचुरेशन कर्व में कि कोर की इतनी ज्यादा डिमांड है, रिक्वायरमेंट है मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट की, कि जितना भी करंट वो प्राइमरी से ले रहा है वो सभी करंट कोर को मैग्नेटाइज करने में यूज हो जाएगा और सेकेंडरी साइड कुछ भी रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं होगा। दैट इज व्हाट इज डीप सेचुरेशन। और उसका अगर मैं यहाँ पे सर्किट ड्रॉ करूँ तो वो सर्किट कैसे बनेगा, लेट मी शो यू द डायग्राम। ये जो हमने इक्विवेलेंट सर्किट है उसी को मैं मॉडिफाई करूंगा। इन द डीप सेचुरेशन, so in the deep saturation what will happen, whatever primary current it will have, the entire current is utilized to magnetize the core and there will be no secondary current. So if I redraw this diagram in the deep saturation condition, just just a minute. Then what will happen in the event of the deep saturation of the core, we can represent it like this. What will be the secondary current? Understand? समझ में आया? It is a kind where all the current that is flowing through the primary is utilized to magnetize the core. So much large requirement of the core, and therefore secondary current will be zero. It will not transform any current to secondary. That is what is we call as the deep saturation. Clear? Saturation होगा तो क्या होगा CT का, ये मैग्नेटाइजिंग कोर, जो जो कोर को मैग्नेटाइज करने की जो हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट है वो बढ़ेगी। वो कब होगा? व्हेन वी ऑपरेट सिटी इन दिस रीजन, अगर हम सिटी को ये रीजन में ऑपरेट करते हैं तब होगा। सो इज इट एडवाइजेबल टू ऑपरेट प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी, टू डिजाइन प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी टू ऑपरेट इन द नॉन लीनियर रीजन? नो, क्योंकि अगर वो सेकेंडरी में एक्यूरेटली करंट रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं करेगा तो रिले को जो डिसीजन लेना है वो भी ठीक नहीं होगा। सपोज यहाँ पे समझिए एक्चुअल करंट कितना है, 50 एम्पियर यानी 5000 एम्पियर है। रिले को वो कितना देना चाहिए, 5000, इट इज 100/1, सो इट इज 5000, देन इट हैज टू बी 50, तो रिले सही डिसीजन लेगा। रिले को कितना मिलेगा यहाँ पे, क्योंकि ये मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट बहुत ज्यादा है, रिले को मिलेगा 40। तो रिले को लगेगा कि 100/1 रेशियो है, देन करंट इज 4000 एम्पियर, एक्चुअल करंट इज 5000 एम्पियर, बट रिले को लगेगा ये करंट 4000 एम्पियर, देन whatever decision relay may take will not be the correct, क्योंकि उसको तो इंफॉर्मेशन ही सही नहीं मिली। just like as I have said, the sensors in our body like eyes, ears, okay, if we do not give correct information to our brain, if our vision is not perfect, if our, let's say, hearing ability is not correct, then whatever decision is taken by brain may not be the correct. The same thing will happen to relay. So protectivity should be designed in such a way that it should not saturate, otherwise relay may not get the correct information about the fault event. समझ में आया? Yes or no? Okay, fine. Then uh, let me show you some materials, and this we'll discuss based on this, that which is suitable for the protective city and measuring city based on the city saturation characteristic. Okay, if we compare the different materials, you will understand. So for comparing this, I will take. It is a BH count simply. Okay. Let's say 0.5, 1, 1.5, let's say 2. Okay. This 2.5. Let's say this is just wait a minute. Okay. So here we are drawing different characteristics of different materials, and then you will understand the importance of material selection in the designing of measuring city and protectives. So this is H, exciting force in ampere turn per centimeter, let's say. This is B, flux density here, pi by A in Tesla, okay. And the curve between B versus H is nothing, is the saturation characteristic or magnetizing curve, you can say. Okay. Just a moment. So now, if we have the different characteristics, suppose if I take uh, cold rolled non-oriented silicon steel, okay, let's say characteristic A, cold rolled, sorry, it is hot rolled. First, let me draw hot rolled instead of cold rolled. Let me draw hot rolled. Hot rolled, non-oriented silicon steel material. Okay, if we use this material as a core material, how would the characteristic magnetizing curve for this will look like? Okay, if we obtain the magnetizing curve, then how would it look like? So it is okay. If we write it here, this is 0.5 ampere turn per centimeter, 1.5, 2, and it is 2.5. Okay. So for this hot rolled non-oriented silicon steel, the excitation curve looks like this. Okay. Then if I take B, another material, it is a cold rolled oriented silicon steel. Then for this material, if we use as a core of a city, the magnetizing curve will look like this. Wait a minute. This is material B. This is material A. Okay, and third material, if I select, for example, is let's say nickel ion with 80% nickel. Okay, then the characteristic of this material would look like this. Okay, now let me compare all these three characteristics. So you can see, for example, if I start with the nickel ion, you can see uh, for small flux density, what is the linear region? This is the linear region. You can see this one. Here it comes knee point. So for the same area, we are talking about the same area, okay, cross sectional area. This this much flux, if we want to set up, it will require this much magnetizing current. So for the smaller flux, you can see for let's say material B, if we select, then for the smaller flux, it will require more magnetizing current, and this one even require even more magnetizing current. So for the small flux density, you can see here, the magnetizing current requirement of nickel ion material is quite small. समझ में आया ये point? Up to let's say 0 to let's say this is 0.7 Tesla. अगर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी फॉर द सेम क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया, अगर हम क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया सेम ले लेते हैं, देन पाई इट इज पाई सिंपली. तो स्मॉल फ्लक्स अगर कोर में हमें सेटअप करना है, तो जो मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट रिक्वायरमेंट है वो ये निकल आयन की सबसे कम है. दिस इज द मिनिमम करंट. और जैसे ही फ्लक्स डेंसिटी बढ़ेगा, वेयर वुड बी दी निकल आयन कोर, वो जाएगा, इसका ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट जाएगा सैचुरेशन रीजन में। तो इसके बाद वो फेथफुली ट्रांसफॉर्म नहीं करेगा ये फ्लक्स डेंसिटी के बाद। सो इट इज अ स्मॉल ऑपरेटिंग रीजन विच इज लाइक दिस। और इसके बाद अगर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी बढ़ा, देन इट वुड नॉट, जो हमने देखा सैचुरेशन पॉइंट की सेकेंडरी करंट जो है वो फेथफुली ट्रांसफॉर्म नहीं होगा इस पॉइंट के बाद। समझ में आया? तो दो चीजें यहाँ पे आपको समझनी है। एक तो इसका, फॉर स्मॉलर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी द मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ निकल आयन इज लेस कंपेयर टू बी एंड ए एंड बी, हॉट रोल और कोल्ड रोल सिलिकॉन स्टील के कंपेरिजन। और दूसरा, एज उसका सैचुरेशन फ्लक्स डेंसिटी इज वेरी लो, for higher flux densities it would operate in the saturation region, and in that case secondary current जो है वो properly reflect नहीं होगा, primary current के हिसाब से secondary current change नहीं होगा, बढ़ेगा नहीं। समझ में आया ये पॉइंट? ये पॉइंट समझ में आया? ठीक है। With material A, hot rolled non oriented silicon steel. Do you know what is hot rolled and non oriented silicon steel means? किसी को पता है इसका मतलब? What is the hot rolled non oriented silicon steel? उसका मतलब क्या है? ये सिलिकॉन स्टील मटेरियल के बारे में है, और ये प्रोसेस बता रहा है जो हम उसको जब मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं। तो हॉट रोल्ड नॉन ओरिएंटेड, ये एक प्रोसेस का पार्ट है। ये क्या है, किसी को मालूम है? एनीबडी नोज व्हाट इज हॉट रोल्ड नॉन ओरिएंटेड मींस? यस और नो, क्विकली रिप्लाई। यस और नो? डू यू नो व्हाट इज दिस मीनिंग ऑफ दिस वर्ड हॉट रोल्ड नॉन ओरिएंटेड सिलिकॉन स्टील? उसका मतलब? ओके, डोंट नो। Okay, I will assign this task to, let's say, one of you. Pratik, Pratik Pithadia. Pratik Pithadia, 39. Hello, Pratik. Please unmute. Yes, Pratik.
यस सर।
सी, आपको क्या करना है, यहाँ पे हम जो डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि हॉट रोल्ड नॉन ओरिएंटेड सिलिकॉन स्टील। तो एक्चुअली ये क्या है हॉट रोल्ड नॉन ओरिएंटेड सिलिकॉन स्टील? उसका मतलब क्या है वो आपको सर्च करना है। और जब हम नेक्स्ट लैब में आएंगे नेक्स्ट वीक, तब आपको ये मुझे समझाना है कि व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ हॉट रोल्ड सिलिकॉन स्टील, उसका मतलब क्या है ये मटेरियल का। ठीक है? ठीक है प्रतीक? ओके, फाइन। और सेकंड, रियाज 14, एनरोलमेंट नंबर 14, रियाज।
यस सर।
आपको मुझे ये बताना है कि कोल्ड रोल्ड ओरिएंटेड सिलिकॉन स्टील ये क्या होता है। ठीक है?
ओके सर।
कैसे बनता है और इसका मतलब क्या है, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कोल्ड रोल्ड। अगली लैब में जब हम आएंगे तब आपको ये मुझे याद करके ये बताना है सबको, यानी यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन इट टू एवरीवन दैट व्हाट इज कोल्ड रोल ओरिएंटेड सिलिकॉन स्टील, इसका मतलब क्या है, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इट।
ओके सर।
You can search internet, you can search books, and if you have any doubt you can also contact me, we can discuss, but ये आपको नेक्स्ट लैब में सबको बताना होगा। ठीक है? देन A, material A is hot rolled non-oriented silicon steel. You can see the material has large magnetizing current requirement even for small magnetic flux density you can see. अगर हम कंपेयर करें जैसे ये पार्ट फॉर लार्ज फ्लक्स डेंसिटी, अगर उसको हम कंपेयर करें तो सपोज हमें 1 टेस्ला मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी एस्टेब्लिश करनी है कोर में, तो जो मटेरियल बी है यहाँ पे कोल्ड रोल्ड ओरिएंटेड सिलिकॉन स्टील, दैट विल रिक्वायर दिस मच मैग्नेटिक इंटेंसिटी, फील्ड इंटेंसिटी, यानी उसका मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट कम है. इन कंपैरिजन दिस मटेरियल ए विल रिक्वायर दिस मच फील्ड इंटेंसिटी. और सी की तो हम बात ही नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि सी तो ऑलरेडी इट इज इन सैचुरेशन रीजन. तो हायर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी पे कौन से मटेरियल का जो मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट है वो कम होगा, ए या बी का हायर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी पे? Which material give you better performance at higher flux density? A or B? What do you think? Which material? समझ में आ रहा है? Yes. Better performance means मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट कम होना चाहिए कोर का. That is what is better performance. जितना कम करंट उतना उसका सैचुरेशन रीजन जो है वो डिले होगा. बी और ए के बीच में समझिए. अभी सी का तो डिस्कशन ही निकल गया क्योंकि हायर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी पे जाएंगे तो सी का तो रोल ही नहीं है यहाँ पे. देखिए अगर मुझे यहाँ पे ये फ्लक्स डेंसिटी, ऑपरेटिंग फ्लक्स डेंसिटी अगर ये हो गई ऑपरेशन में, ठीक है, फोल्ड के टाइम पे, तो जो पॉइंट यहाँ से था वो शिफ्ट होके यहाँ पे आ गया. तो सी मटेरियल है वो तो मेरे काम का नहीं है हायर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी पे, क्योंकि वो तो ऑलरेडी इट मे बी इन डीप सैचुरेशन अगर मैं इसको निकल आयन को लेता हूँ तो, क्योंकि वो तो ये फ्लक्स डेंसिटी यहाँ पे सेटअप करने के लिए कितना ज्यादा मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट उसको लगेगा. देखो उसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक तो यहाँ पे इट इज लिमिटेड अप टू ओनली 1 टेस्ला, प्रोबेबली नॉट इवन 1 टेस्ला, लेस देन दैट. तो जब मैं हायर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी पे ऑपरेट करता हूँ तो अगर मैं बी मटेरियल लेता हूँ तो उसका मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट होगा इतना रिक्वायरमेंट, और अगर मैं ए मटेरियल लेता हूँ यहाँ पे तो उसका मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट होगा इतना. तो विच मटेरियल इज बेटर? मैं ये समझना चाहता हूँ कि इसमें से कौन सा मटेरियल बेटर है, ए या बी? जो मटेरियल उसका मैग्नेटाइजिंग रिक्वायरमेंट कम है वो या ज्यादा है? व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज अ बेटर मटेरियल फॉर कोर? यस भावेश, करेक्ट. एनी अदर आंसर? संजय समझ में आया? विच इज अ बेटर मटेरियल, ए और बी? यस. मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट ज्यादा है वो अच्छा मटेरियल है, या मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट है कम है वो अच्छा मटेरियल है जिसके रिक्वायरमेंट? ये देखिए अगर एक्यूरेसी आप देखोगे तो जितना मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट, सपोज दूसरा जो है यहाँ पे उसका मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट है 0.005 सपोज, तो यहाँ पे कितना होगा? 0.01 होगा. तो वो जो सेकेंडरी में रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा वो इससे ज्यादा होगा. तो कौन एक्यूरेट हुआ? ये एक्यूरेट हुआ या ये एक्यूरेट हुआ? ये वाला ऑब्वियसली एक्यूरेट हुआ क्योंकि उसका मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट कम है. तो जो सेकेंडरी में रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा वो मोर एक्यूरेट होगा रेशियो के हिसाब से. So the material with lower magnetizing current requirement is a better material, better choice for the core, for a protective city. तो प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी के लिए कौन सा मटेरियल बेस्ट है इसमें से, ए बी या सी? इन प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी इट हैज टू कैरी लार्ज फोल्ड करंट है, और जैसे फोल्ड करंट बढ़ेगा मैग्नेटाइजिंग फ्लक्स उसका रिक्वायरमेंट वो भी बढ़ेगा, फ्लक्स डेंसिटी वो भी बढ़ेगा. So B is a better choice for, obviously Bhavesh, B is a better choice for protective city. cold rolled grain oriented silicon still is a better choice for protective city, क्योंकि उसका operation flux density देखिए काफी बड़ा है. It is quite higher, which is a requirement for protective city. It has to operate up to higher flux density because of it has to carry out the higher fault current. अच्छा, और मेजरिंग सिटी में क्या था? मेजरिंग सिटी में जब फोल्ड करंट होगा तो वो एक्यूरेटली ट्रांसफर होना चाहिए सेकेंडरी में कि नहीं? इट हैज टू ऑपरेट फॉर नो लोड टू फुल लोड एक्यूरेटली. तो लोअर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी में उसको एक्यूरेटली ऑपरेट होना है, बट जब हायर फ्लक्स डेंसिटी होगा तो उसको वो सैचुरेशन में जाना है और सेकेंडरी में करंट रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं करना है इन ऑर्डर टू प्रोटेक्ट मेजरिंग डिवाइस. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज a better option for measuring city? The material which has a good accuracy or lower magnetizing requirement for small flux density, but जब ज्यादा होगा तो क्या होगा? उसको सैचुरेट होना है. It is C. It is C for measuring city. ठीक है. और मेजरिंग सिटी और प्रोडक्टिव सिटी को अगर हम कंपेयर करेंगे फॉर द सेम साइज, फॉर द सेम सिटी रेशियो, ओके, फॉर द सेम सिटी रेशियो किसका साइज ज्यादा होगा, प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी या मेजरिंग सिटी का? देखिए, प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी को यहाँ पे ऑपरेट करना है एंकल पॉइंट के पास, तो उसका सेचुरेशन फ्लक्स डेंसिटी जो है वो काफी बड़ा है, यानी ऑपरेटिंग फ्लक्स डेंसिटी इज क्वाइट लोअर. तो सेम फ्लक्स के लिए उसका क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया क्या होना चाहिए? प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी का ज्यादा होना चाहिए फॉर द सेम फ्लक्स. तब वो जाके यहाँ पे पहुंचेगा और यहाँ पे ये क्या होगा, कम होगा, तो इसका ऑपरेटिंग फ्लक्स यहाँ पे होगा फॉर द सेम फ्लक्स. सो फॉर द सेम सिटी रेशियो, प्रोटेक्टिव सिटी हैज ए लार्ज साइज एंड मेजरिंग सिटी हैज ए स्मॉल साइज. अगर 100/1 के दो सिटी है आपके सामने, and if somebody says one of it is a protective city and second is a measuring city, can you identify? So from the size you can say the protective city will have a large cross sectional area for the same operating flux density, क्योंकि उसको हम एंकल पॉइंट पे डिजाइन करेंगे, और मेजरिंग सिटी विल हैव ए ऑपरेटिंग फ्लक्स डेंसिटी हायर on the saturation curve. So for the same city ratio, protective city size will be large. Clear? अब हम जाते हैं मैग्नेटाइजिंग कर्व. ठीक है, the laboratory experiment that we want to perform. Now, experimental setup. Every one of you is required to have book and pen with you, क्योंकि एक्सपेरिमेंट में जो हम रीडिंग्स बताऊंगा मैं आपको, वो नोट डाउन करना है और फिर आपको ग्राफ ड्रॉ करना है उस हिसाब से. ओके, यू हैव टू ड्रॉ द ग्राफ ऑन द ग्राफ पेपर. सो एवरीबॉडी इज रिक्वेस्टेड टू हैव बुक एंड पेन विथ यू. व्हाट इज एक्सपेरिमेंटल सेटअप? क्या करेंगे हम? लेट मी फर्स्ट ड्रॉ द डायग्राम. I will explain you the diagram. So this is a city. It is a protective city with a rating of 25 VA. 10 by 5 ampere city, ratio is 10 by 5 ampere we have, and it is 10p5 class. This is city class. I will explain this. This is city ratio, and this is VA rating. You can say burden. Okay. This is auto transformer. Supply. Variac. And this is a 230 by 40 volt transformer for this FD purpose. We have an ammeter and we have a voltmeter here. You can see. Okay. So generally, we have connected secondary with the supply and we have kept primary open. So I'll explain you the reason. Why city secondary is never kept open when primary is energized. Okay, this is a very important concept you have to study. Why city secondary is never kept open when city primary is energized. This is a frequently asked questions in interviews and in examinations also. So to explain you this, let me go back to the diagram here. Okay, city steps down the current, so it will step up the voltage, and that too in a very large proportion. So under normal condition, what will happen? Suppose here the relay coil is connected, okay, or meter is connected. So primary flux is flowing. Primary current is flowing. That will induce primary flux. That will induce some high voltage across secondary. Okay, and as there is a relay coil or meter coil, the current will flow through this secondary current, and it will induce an flux which is opposite to primary flux. So net flux under this condition is very small. Understand? But by chance, suppose the relay coil is disconnected from here, what will be the secondary current? If relay coil is disconnected, primary is still energized, but secondary is open. By mistake, secondary is kept open. What will be the secondary current? 0. What will be the secondary flux? What will be the secondary flux if there is no secondary current? What will be the secondary flux if there is no secondary current? It is 0. Secondary flux, the flux which is developed by secondary winding, it will be 0. So in the absence of secondary flux, net flux in the core is only primary flux. खाली एक ही flux बचेगा primary, and this primary flux would be so high that it will induce excessive dangerous voltage across secondary. क्योंकि secondary open हो गई है और यहाँ पे net flux अभी small नहीं है क्योंकि secondary flux निकल गया. तो जो core में है वो खाली primary flux बचा है, and that will induce excessive dangerous voltage, thousands of volt across secondary. So any operating personnel, by chance, if you touch the secondary of this city, you may get severe shock. Even that can cause death. So when secondary winding is kept open while primary is energized, in the absence of secondary flux, net flux in the core would be so high that it will induce secondary dangerously high voltage across secondary terminal. And by chance, if the operator in the let's say plant or anywhere, if they touch the terminal of the secondary, you may get a severe shock, electric shock. It is dangerous. And second, as secondary flux is 0, net flux in the core is so high. पहले तो क्या था, प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी फ्लक्स एक दूसरे को ऑपोजिट नेचर में थे, तो नेट फ्लक्स क्या था कोर में, काफी कम था। बट फाइंडिंग आपने ओपन कर दिया, यहाँ पे प्राइमरी इज एनर्जाइज, तो सेकेंडरी फ्लक्स तो जीरो हो गया, नेट फ्लक्स इन द कोर इज वेरी हाई, तो फ्लक्स डेंसिटी कहाँ पे जाएगा उस केस में, कहाँ पे पहुंचेगा ये ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट। सपोज यहाँ पे था, सेकेंडरी ओपन हो गया, नेट फ्लक्स जीरो हो गया सेकेंडरी का, प्राइमरी फ्लक्स वुड बी सो हाई दैट सीटी वुड गो इनटू डीप सैचुरेशन, क्योंकि फ्लक्स इतना ज्यादा बढ़ गया कोर में और ईएमएफ इतने ज्यादा इंड्यूस हो गए, तो उसको कंपनसेट, उसको इंड्यूस करने के लिए इट विल ड्रॉ एक्सेसिव मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट, ये चीज हो जाएगा, एंड सिटी वुड गो इनटू डीप सैचुरेशन एंड कोर विल गेट सैचुरेटेड, उसका प्रॉपर्टी, कोर का मैग्नेटिक प्रॉपर्टी भी डैमेज हो जाएगा। क्लियर। तो सेकेंडरी को हमें कभी ओपन नहीं करना है, दो रीजन है। इफ यू कीप सेकेंडरी ओपन व्हेन द प्राइमरी इज एनर्जाइज्ड, it will induce excessive voltage across the city secondary that may cause severe electric shock to anyone. And second, the flux in the core would be so high that even CT can go into deep saturation, move into deep saturation. ठीक है, पर हमें यहाँ पे क्या करना है, मैग्नेटाइजिंग कर्व लेना है। मैग्नेटाइजिंग कर्व तो हमेशा ओपन सर्किट पे ही प्लॉट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि लोड नहीं होना चाहिए। अगर आप लोड कनेक्ट करते हो देन इट वुड बी अ लोड कर्व। सो वी डू नॉट रिक्वायर सेकेंडरी करंट हियर, यहाँ पे हमें ये नहीं चाहिए। इक्विवेलेंट सर्किट में बताओ तो ये वाला करंट हमें नहीं चाहिए, वी डोंट रिक्वायर। वी रिक्वायर ओनली द एक्साइटेशन करंट। एक्साइटेशन करंट कब मिलेगा, व्हेन द इक्विपमेंट इज ऑपरेटेड ऑन नो लोड। नो लोड के लिए क्या होना चाहिए, प्राइमरी को सप्लाई देंगे, सेकेंडरी ओपन रखेंगे, सेकेंडरी को ओपन रख नहीं सकते। सो व्हाट डू वी डू इन लैब, in experimental setup, let us connect secondary with the supply and let us keep primary open. ठीक है, तो अब जो एक्सेसिव वोल्टेज का जो प्रॉब्लम है वो यहाँ पे नहीं होगा, क्योंकि हमने टर्मिनल चेंज कर दिए। इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ स्टेप डाउन ट्रांसफॉर्मर नाउ, जहाँ पे हमने सेकेंडरी को सप्लाई दे दिया, प्राइमरी को ओपन रख दी, तो जो ओवर वोल्टेज का प्रॉब्लम था हमारा वो अब नहीं होगा। देयर विल बी नो एक्सेसिव फ्लक्स इन दी कोर। समझ में आया, हम क्यों सेकेंडरी को ओपन नहीं रखेंगे एक्सपेरिमेंट में। अगर यहाँ पे मैं सेकेंडरी को, प्राइमरी को अगर सप्लाई देके सेकेंडरी को ओपन रखूंगा, तो लैब एक्सपेरिमेंट में बाय चांस अगर यहाँ पे कोई टर्मिनल टच हो गया सेकेंडरी का, देन इट में कॉज सीवियर इलेक्ट्रिक शॉक। और दूसरा, ये जो कोर है सिटी का वो भी सेचुरेट हो जाएगा, ये सिटी मुझे काम नहीं लगेगा दूसरी बार। आई नीड टू रिप्लेस दिस सिटी एट आफ्टर ईच एक्सपेरिमेंट, इट इज डेंजरस। तो हम लैब में क्या करेंगे, सेकेंडरी को सप्लाई देंगे, प्राइमरी को ओपन रखेंगे, और यहाँ पे जैसे हम सप्लाई वोल्टेज बढ़ाएंगे फ्लक्स बढ़ेगा, और वो फ्लक्स को सेटअप करने के लिए वो जो करंट लेगा, तो ये करंट हमें देगा मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट, एक्साइटेशन करंट, और ये हो जाएगा हमारा ओपन सर्किट वोल्टेज। तो तो फ्लक्स इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू वोल्टेज यू कैन से। तो ये हमें रीडिंग देगा, वो रीडिंग होगा वोल्टेज, ओपन सर्किट वोल्टेज विच वी कैन कंसीडर विच इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू फ्लक्स। और ये जो करंट होगा नो लोड करंट विच इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट और एक्साइटेशन करंट। तो हम V वर्सेस A और V वर्सेस I, इसको अगर हम प्लॉट करेंगे, दैट इज नथिंग, इट इज द मैग्नेटाइजेशन कर्व। तो हमारा मैग्नेटाइजेशन कर्व हो जाएगा ये कोर का। समझ में आ गया सेटअप। एक्सपेरिमेंट में क्या करना है, फर्स्ट वी विल कनेक्ट द डायग्राम सर्किट लाइक दिस, we will gradually increase the voltage. So to set up that voltage, okay, there will be a flux set up in the core. To set up that core flux, it will require some magnetizing current. तो जैसे जैसे हम यहाँ से वोल्टेज बढ़ाएंगे फ्लक्स बढ़ेगा, उस फ्लक्स को सेटअप के लिए जो करंट होगा वो भी बढ़ेगा लीनियरली अप टू नी पॉइंट। तो नी पॉइंट तक जैसे हम वोल्टेज बढ़ाएंगे, प्रोपोर्शनेटली मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट भी लीनियरली बढ़ेगा अप टू दिस पॉइंट। इसके बाद जैसे ही हम वोल्टेज बढ़ाएंगे, फ्लक्स का रिक्वायरमेंट टू सेट अप स्मॉल फ्लक्स इट विल रिक्वायर लार्ज करंट। तो आप देखोगे कि उसके बाद नी पॉइंट के बाद अगर हम वोल्टेज जरा सा भी बढ़ाते हैं तो करंट, क्योंकि यहाँ पे लोड तो है नहीं, देखो डायग्राम में ये वाइंडिंग ओपन है, देयर इज नो लोड, तो जो भी करंट है वो मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट है, अभी इट इज ओपन सर्किट। तो जैसे ही हम स्मॉल वोल्टेज बढ़ाएंगे दिस मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट वुड इंक्रीज रैपिडली, पहले वो लीनियरली चेंज होगा, बट जब हम नी पॉइंट पे पहुंचेंगे सेचुरेशन कर्व के, then for a small change in voltage you will see there is a large change in the magnetizing current काफी ज्यादा बढ़ेगा, and then we would go, हम कब तक जा सकते हैं, we can go up to 25 VA, ये V into I, इसका मल्टीप्लीकेशन 25 VA, यहाँ तक उसके रेटिंग है, यहाँ तक हम जाएंगे, उसके आगे नहीं जाएंगे, अदरवाइज सिटी कोर में गेट डैमेज, सेचुरेशन में जाएगा और वो डैमेज हो जाएगा। So we would not go beyond its VA rating capacity। ठीक है, ये हमें ध्यान रखना है कि V into I should not go beyond 25 VA। ठीक है, CT ratio is 10/5। CT class 10P5, I think you will understand what is CT class। So what is 10P5? 10 is composite error। Composite error means it can be plus or minus, it will give 10 plus or minus 10% error, उसका मतलब है। P means protective class CT, ये protective CT है जो मेजरिंग के लिए यूज नहीं करना चाहिए, इट हैज टू बी यूज विथ प्रोटेक्टिव एप्लीकेशंस। 5 is ALF, accuracy limit factor। What is accuracy limit factor? Is the current, maximum current or to the rated current, you can say, through CT primary। ठीक है, तो सपोज ये CT का सेकेंडरी क्या है, 5 एम्पियर, सो रेटेड करंट वी कैन टेक 5 एम्पियर and accuracy limit factor is 5, so 5 into 5 25 maximum current। So this CT will have an composite error of plus or minus 10% up to 25 ampere, you can say, that is what is meaning of CT class। For example, अगर मैं आपको एक समझाऊं सिंपल एग्जांपल से, अगर एक 100/1 का CT है जो प्रोटेक्टिव CT है और उसका क्लास है सपोज 5P10, उसका मतलब क्या हुआ, दिस CT, what is ALF? ALF is 10, ALF is 10 means maximum current and rated current is 1 ampere। So what is current? This is 10 ampere। सेकेंडरी में 10 एम्पियर कब होगा, जब प्राइमरी में कितना होगा, उसको मल्टीप्लाई बाय 10 कर दो, 1000 एम्पियर। ठीक है, तो ये CT उसके रेटिंग जो है उसके 10 टाइम्स करंट जब फ्लो होगा तब तक वो प्लस और माइनस 5% एरर देगा। ये हो गया CT का एक्यूरेसी क्लास। इट कैन बी प्लस इट कैन बी माइनस, और ये एरर किसके लिए आएगा, दो रीजन से, एक होगा रेशियो एरर, दूसरा होगा फेज एंगल एरर, दैट यू विल स्टडी। ओके, इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट ओनली, यहाँ पे हमने देखा ना, इसकी वजह से एरर आएगा। इट विल नॉट प्रोड्यूस एग्जैक्टली सेम करंट। ठीक है, दैट इज व्हाई द मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट ऑफ ए CT मस्ट बी लोअर सो दैट इट कैन हैव बेटर एक्यूरेसी। ठीक है, समझ में आ गया CT क्लास, व्हाट इज CT क्लास। If I say 10P5, what is 10P5? 10P5 means it will have plus or minus 10% error up to 5 times of the rated current। Okay, तो कौन सा CT बेटर है, सपोज इफ आई से आई हैव ए CT 5P10 एंड आई हैव ए CT 5P5, कौन सा CT बेटर है इस दोनों में से, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, ये सिटी अच्छा है या सिटी अच्छा है? यस, 5p10 इज बेटर, मोर एक्यूरेट। क्यों? क्योंकि दोनों का एक्यूरेसी तो प्लस और माइनस 5% ही है, कंपोजिट एरर। बट ये 10 टाइम्स तक वो एरर है, ये 5 टाइम्स है। 5 टाइम्स से जब करंट बढ़ेगा तो इसका एरर भी साथ में बढ़ेगा, और इसका एरर बढ़ेगा 10 टाइम्स के बाद में। तो ये बेटर सिटी है। अच्छा, इन दोनों में से कौन सा बेटर है? 5p5 और 10p5, कौन सा बेटर है इन दोनों में से? सेकंड और थर्ड में से कौन सा बेटर है? टेल मी। यस, 5p5 इज बेटर, क्योंकि दोनों का एक्यूरेसी 5 टाइम्स के बाद तो बढ़ेगा ही, लेकिन अप टू 5 टाइम्स इसका एक्यूरेसी कंपोजिट एरर है 10% और इसका है 5%। तो ये सिटी बेटर है। अगर आप लेने जाओगे तो ये सिटी का कॉस्ट सबसे ज्यादा होगा, उसके बाद ये सिटी, उसके बाद ये सिटी। समझ में आया? Because accuracy class, if you have higher accuracy class with higher ALF, accuracy limit factor, city cost is more, design is much proper. ठीक है? तो एक्सपेरिमेंट में हमें क्या करना है? अगेन आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग। वी विल कीप प्राइमरी ओपन, वी विल कनेक्ट सप्लाई विद द सेकेंडरी। यहाँ से हम वोल्टेज बढ़ाएंगे, तो जैसे ही वोल्टेज बढ़ेगा कोर में फ्लक्स सेटअप होगा, उसके लिए वो मैग्नेटाइजिंग करंट ड्रॉ करेगा। तो पहले ये दोनों लीनियरली वेरी होंगे, voltage or current, because flux linearly follows the magnetizing current here. And after that, for small change in voltage, that is small change in flux, it will draw large magnetizing current. तो तब हम पहुंच जाएंगे saturation region में। और हम ये ध्यान रखेंगे कि हम 25 VA से ऊपर नहीं जाए यहाँ पे, क्योंकि अदरवाइज सिटी वुड गो इनटू डीप सेचुरेशन उसके बाद। ठीक है? अंडरस्टैंड? तो आपको क्या करना है? यू हैव टू नोट डाउन द रीडिंग्स। आपको यहाँ पे रीडिंग नोट डाउन करने हैं। वो जो हम वोल्टेज, प्राइमरी वोल्टेज यहाँ पे कनेक्ट करेंगे। ठीक है? वोल्ट मीटर रीडिंग ई वर्सेस आई। ये कौन सा करंट है? ये एक्साइटेशन करंट है, और ये सेकेंडरी वोल्टेज हमने दिया है वो है ओपन सर्किट वोल्टेज। इट विल बी इन वोल्ट, दिस मे बी इन लेट्स से एम्पियर। समझ में आ गया? ये सारे रीडिंग आपको नोट डाउन करना है। और जब हम इसको प्लॉट करेंगे ई, तो ये होगा ई, ये होगा मैग्नेटाइजेशन, सॉरी, दिस विल बी ई कैरेक्टरिस्टिक में यहाँ पे, क्योंकि ये आएगा फ्लक्स बी, फ्लक्स इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू वोल्टेज, एंड ये आएगा मैग्नेटाइजेशन करंट। तो ये जब कर्व हम प्लॉट करेंगे तो ये कर्व वुड बी लाइक दिस। ओके, सो दिस इज अ सैचुरेशन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ ए सिटी विच इज 25 VA इन रेटिंग। ये काफी छोटा सिटी है विच वी यूज फॉर लैब पर्पस। In field, you will find protective city will be quite different, having different capacity than this. ये lab के लिए, lab for a lab purpose. Okay, it is a very small city. Clear, everyone? Now I will share a video with you. Just a moment. So carefully see the video, note down the readings, and observe that. Just a moment. Is screen visible with video? Is screen visible with video? The video is recorded in our protection laboratory. Okay, and I will run the video.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to conduct an experiment of switchgear and protection. The experiment number 1 is based on the CT saturation characteristic. Okay, so in this experiment we need to study about the saturation characteristic of CT. So that experiment can be conducted on this panel. Okay, this is the panel of CT saturation characteristic. You can see we have one variac. Okay, Then inbuilt ammeter and voltmeter is there, and this is what the CT which is under tested. Okay, so on this CT we have to, or we can say we have to find the saturation curve for this current transformer. So before going to start, we can try to understand the circuit diagram for this, so that based on that circuit diagram we need to do the connection on this panel. So this is the test setup circuit diagram, we can say. Over here we have to give 230 volt single phase AC supply by using single phase variac. Okay. Then in panel we have 230 by 40 volt transformer. Okay. Initially we have to give 230 volt from the variac, and then we have to accordingly by using this inbuilt variac we have to apply the voltage step by step. Okay. This is ammeter, voltmeter. Connection is very simple. Only we have to connect supply and the CT, which is CT for which we are going to find the saturation characteristic. So just remember, this is the secondary side of CT. Over here S1 and S2 terminal is there, and this is the primary side of CT. Okay, where we have P1 and P2 terminal is there. Intentionally we are going to supply the secondary of CT. Okay, why? Because we know it is basically the function of CT is to step down the current. Okay, so on the secondary side we have very high voltage, and that's why secondary side we cannot left open, and that's why intentionally I'm going to apply the I'm going to supply secondary side. Okay, and primary is open. The rating of the CT is 25 VA, 10 by 5, that is current rating. So on primary side we have 10 ampere, on the secondary side it is 5 ampere, and the class of CT is 10P5. Okay. After taking the readings, you have to draw the saturation curve on the graph paper. Okay, you know this is the saturation characteristic of CT, in which we have three different regions. This is the non-linear region. Then between ankle point and knee point we have linear region. Okay, this is non-linear region, and after the knee point it is saturation region. So the same characteristic we have to study on the panel. Okay, on which you are going to obtain the non-linear region of CT, linear region of CT, as well as saturation region of CT. So as per the characteristic, if you want to draw this characteristic, you require the reading of excitation current and the voltage. Okay, so that two readings only we have to take from the experiment, and then you can draw this characteristic. So let us come on the panel side. We are starting to do the connection over here now. Once again you can see the diagram. Okay, based on this diagram we are going to do the connection. Okay, so initially we have to give the supply. Okay, so I am connecting the terminal of variac with the input of the panel. So this is the supply. Now you can see these all are the internal connections. Okay, so ammeter is already connected. Then this voltmeter is already connected across the secondary side. Now one more thing, the CT for which we are going to obtain the saturation characteristic, that CT is connected over here. Okay, this is the CT for which we have to obtain the saturation characteristic, and for that the terminal S1, S2, P1 and P2 is marked over here. Okay, which is also shown on the diagram. So let us try to connect the terminal. So you can see one S1 terminal is on the panel. Okay, so that S1 terminal is connected with S1. S1 is connected with S1. This P1 is connected with P1. Similarly, S2 is connected with, this is S2, secondary terminal with S2, and P2 with P2 terminal. Now, just connect one voltmeter across the variac so that we can fix the 230 voltage from the input. Okay, so connection is done. Now let us start the kit. I am going to switch on the supply now. So first of all, set the voltage from the variac. So I am applying the voltage. This is our input supply. I am giving up to 220 volt. Okay, it's a 220 volt. Now, first of all, check whether this is at 0 or not. Yes, it is at 0 position. Now, turn on the supply of this kit. Now, slowly increase the value of voltage from this variac, okay, from this auto transformer which is given in this panel. And we have to note down the reading of this excitation current and this supply voltage. Again, you can see we are connecting secondary side to the supply. Slowly I am increasing the voltage. You can see the voltage value is increasing, but still there is no change in the current. Again, 1 volt, 1.1 volt is already applied, but the current value is 0.
This is just to explain you that even though there is a voltage, so flux is set up in the core, but magnetizing current is so small that meter cannot display it. Okay, it is not so that there is no magnetizing current. Magnetizing current is, it is there, but it is not in the range of the meter.
Yes, I am getting the variation in current. So at 1.8 or 1.9 approximately, I am getting the value of current is 0.01. So you need to note down this reading. Voltage is 1.9 and excitation current is 0.01. So you can see for the value of variation in the voltage value is very high, but still the variation in current is very less, and that's why this is known as non-linear region. So you can note down the second reading. Voltage value is 4 volt, current is 0.02. Again increase the voltage. So at 6.4 I am getting 0.03 ampere. At 6.4 I am getting 0.03. This is our third reading. Yes, at 8.6 we have the new reading of current, that is 0.04. At 10.1 we are getting 0.05. So you can then note down this reading. At 11.3 we have 0.06. At 11.3 the current is 0.06. Now you can see the difference. In the previous reading, the magnitude of, for the large value of voltage, we have a small variation in current. But now compare this reading and previous reading. Okay, within a small difference we have the next value of current. So at 11.8 I have 0.07. At 11.9 we have 0.08. Or you can write at 12 we have 0.08. So now it is, we can say it is a starting of linear region. At 12.2 the current is 0.09. At 12.3 it is 0.10. Twelve point five, 0.11, 12.6, it's 0.13, 12.7, 0.14, and 12.8, 0.17, okay, now suddenly you can see the value of current as I move from 12.9 to 13, the value from 0.17 to value of current is increased from 0.17 to directly 0.25. Okay, that means now we are crossing the knee point of characteristic. That means this is the saturation saturation region, we can say. Now see, I'm just increasing the voltage by 1.13.1. You can see the value of current from 0.25 to 0.36. (13.3), the current is 0.69. Okay. Okay, so we are taking up to this reading. Again, I am making it to 0. Now, based on the obtained reading of supply voltage and excitation current, you have to draw the excitation characteristic in the graph paper. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes. Any doubt? Any doubt from anyone? So I hope you understand it. The characteristic. So okay. 12.7. Okay. 12.7 rating. I'll tell you, Bhavesh. 0.14. 0.14. Okay, Bhavesh. Okay. Now see. Uh, as already I have said that in the session I have already taken attendance. So if you join within 4 to 5 minutes of the session time, starting of the session time, I will give attendance. Some of are joining after 10 minutes, 15 minutes at any time. So attendance will not be given, and kindly note this in lecture as well as in lab. Okay, so from the next time you attend the class on time. Uh, any time joining is allowed, but the attendance will not be given. Everyone clear about this? Today who have joined, let me tell the name of the students. Pratik 39, Payas 3, Harsh 6, Sanjay 10, Satyajit 21, Rajesh 22, and Bhavesh 26. Only the students I will consider for the attendance. Okay. Rest of them have joined after 5 minutes, almost after 5 minutes. So please, from the next time, take care that you join a session on time. I will tell how to write the experiment. Okay. I will tell how to write the experiment. Okay, Akshar, there is no meaning of writing your number. Why are you writing? I don't understand. I have already taken attendance, Akshar. Just a moment.